Hey, so a small disclaimer before this video starts. If you hear some crap in the background, I'm recording this at CMU, so that's why you might hear some random crap in the background. Okay, anyway, on to the video. Well, since I ranked Kings Island's coasters last year, I might as well complete the duology right now for some reason. But anyway, Kings Dominion is a very underrated park in Doswell, Virginia. And out of the 4 Cedar Fair parks I've been to, this is probably the most charming. And overall, that's a big contributing factor to why I'm such a fan of the park. Though another contributing factor is the coaster collection, which I'm gonna be talking about in too much detail today, so here we go.
An E&F Mylar Kitty coaster.
Okay, this is the one coaster here I've not ridden, but I've ridden the one at Kings Island, which is a clone of this, so I think it's kind of like this. But anyway, Great Pumpkin Coaster, I skipped it. It looked too intense for me.
Hey, you guys are watching Bird Up.
Okay, so I already talked about this one in the Kings Island video, so if you want to hear my in-depth thoughts, just go watch that video. But basically, fun family wooden coaster, but nothing really special. Anyway, moving on. Okay, Tom Billy. I just don't like 40 free spins. I mean, I like the concept, a 40 free spinning coaster. That's a good concept. Just, the execution wasn't good whatsoever. Just, I don't know, the flips aren't enjoyable unlike they should be, and the rides, it's just boring. So yeah, that's why I don't like SNS 40 free spins and Tumbili. On to the next coaster.
Introducing Apple Vision Pro.
I genuinely have nothing noteworthy to say about Apple's Apple. I mean, the first drop was fun, I guess, but besides that, it's just your standard mock Wild Mouse. I mean, it's better than Wild Mouse at Hershey Park, but that's a very low bar to clear. Anyway, I don't really have anything else to say about this ride. Moving on.
Super Nicki Minaj,
So, I don't think Anaconda is nearly as bad as most people say it is. I mean, yeah, the pretzel turns are really stupid, and the first 2 inversions do literally nothing, but besides that, I don't know, it's okay. I mean, I like the underwater tunnel. The first drop has good laterals, but I mean, laterals on an aero coaster are not a good combination. The only true standout moment on the ride is the final corkscrews, which genuinely deliver really good hang time. But besides that, it's just a below average looping coaster. Okay, on to the first ride I actually consider good. That being Reptilian. I admit it does have a bit of a rattle and there aren't really any forces, but it's not really supposed to be an insane ride unlike some other coasters in this park. But even without any forces, it's still a pretty fun ride, even if it does have a bit of a rattle. Also, I like the theming on the brake run. It's very nice.
Look, I'm Woody.
Rebel Yell, I mean, Racer 75 is a very weird ride because the 2 sides ride very differently. The red side is a smooth and relaxing ride without really any forces whatsoever. Meanwhile, the blue side is extremely rough, but actually has some pretty solid forces. Now, I admit, I did ride on a wheel seat in the red side towards the back row, so maybe that could have impacted it, but I think not. Though personally I prefer the red side, even with my high roughness tolerance. Though neither of these sides compare to Racer at Kings Island, which is honestly really underrated. Go ride it.
It should say backlot stunt coaster, right?
Okay, I don't know if this is a popular opinion or not, but for whatever reason, I slightly prefer the Kings Dominion version of Backlot Stunt Coaster to the Kings Island version of Backlot Stunt Coaster. The part I prefer the most on Kings Dominion's Backlot Stunt Coaster is the first helix. If you watched my Kings Island video, you'd know I did not gray out on the helix like many other people said they did. But on this version, I did. Though maybe that's because my Kings Dominion visit was much warmer than my Kings Island visit. Though besides that, the rest of the ride runs pretty similarly, though I did think the Kings Dominion version did run ever so slightly faster. I mean, who knows, Canada's Wonderlands might be really great with its removed entrance sign. Seriously, Canada's Wonderland, why did you do that? How are the GPs supposed to know what the ride is called? But anyways, yeah, like the Kings Island one, it's a very fun family launch coaster. Moving on. I weirdly think the Flight of Fear here feels much more different from the one at King's Island. The King's Island one feels a bit smoother, but also tamer for the same reason. Meanwhile, the King's Dominion one feels much more janky, but for that reason, I really like it. It makes the ride feel much more crazier than it probably should. But also the added jankiness is admittedly a bit uncomfortable, especially on the final corkscrew, where your body just is viciously whipped to the side. Thank God this thing does not have over-the-shoulder restraints anymore. But anyways, yeah, good indoor coaster.
This is DC's Batman, the ride.
I don't really get the hype behind Dominator. I mean, it is a fun ride, but like, best B&M floorless? Really? I mean, it's the best one I've ridden, but like, the only other ones I've ridden are Medusa at Great Adventure and Rougarou, so like, it's not really that good of competition. But like, best floorless coaster in the world? I don't even think it's top 3 in North America. I mean, it'd be the best if Superman at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, Kraken at SeaWorld Orlando, and Medusa at Discovery Kingdom didn't exist, but like, they do exist, so it's only number 4. But anyway, this ride has a very bad B&M rattle. Now, I did sit on an edge seat in the back row, so I mean, I guess it is gonna be a bit rough back there, but like, still. This is probably the most rattly B&M I've ridden. I mean, also it was relocated from Ohio to Virginia, so I mean, of course it's gonna be a little rough. And the layout, I don't really get the hype behind this either. Now, I admit, the loop is great, and I really like the second half, but the Cobra roll and the turn thing over the station just don't do anything. The first drop's pretty good though. I like the nice little airtime pop you get off the mid-course. But overall, yeah, I enjoy this ride, it's just a little bit overrated.
I think not.
Oh boy, Coaster Dash is not gonna be happy, but like, I really liked Grizzly. Now, I admit, it is probably due to the retrack, but even in the rough section, aka the part they didn't retrack, I still really enjoyed it. You get good airtime on pretty much every hill, and the wooded setting is also incredible. And unlike most other people, I'm a big fan of the PTC lap bars this thing has. And overall, yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about this ride. So as long as King's Dominion keeps consistently performing good maintenance on it, I think I'll always be a fan of this ride. Oh boy, now it's on to the big top 2 everyone talks about. Which ride is better? You'll see. Okay, I know many have said this before, but this ride is basically just Steel Vengeance's second half if it was turned into its own ride. But that is not an insult, cause I love Steel Vengeance's second half, so naturally I'm gonna love this ride. And yeah, I do love it. Every airtime moment is at least weak ejector, and every inversion is incredibly snappy. And also, I forgot to mention, the Barrel down drop has incredible hang time. Also, why does this ride have no left turns? What did the direction left do to this ride? But nitpicking aside, this ride is incredible. Go ride it. But it's not as incredible as Intimidator 305. Wow, the super unpredictable number 1 that no one saw coming. Now, this ride was a mistake, but like, it's the greatest mistake known to man. The first drop delivers insane ejector airtime, and the first turn, though it's not as insane as most other people say, it still is a very solid and sustained gray out for me. And the following airtime hill has insane ejector, just like the first drop. From there, it's a bunch of insanely snappy S-curves and airtime hills that I just love to no end. The only way I think this ride could become better is if they disable the trim every once in a while. Like, they should make an enthusiast event where they disable the trims, huh? Wow, I wonder where I've ever heard that before. Anyways, yeah, I-305 is an absolute masterpiece of a mistake, and King's Dominion is a great park that you should go visit. Kings Island is still better though. Okay, bye.